Hey guys, before we even start the video, I wanted to kind of hop on here and tell you guys thank you so much for your well wishes. I am pre-filmed a handful of videos ahead for Vlogmas, and this is the first time I'm filming since my pregnancy announcement went up, and I just want to say thank you guys for all of your really nice comments, your well wishes, your prayers, and your thoughts for a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby. All those things are really appreciated, and it's one of those times where I can really sit back and enjoy the community that we've built here and all of the people that follow me. A lot of the times you'll hear creators say that you kind of attract your tribe, you attract people who are like you, because they're not going to subscribe and they're not going to hang out here and watch your videos if they don't like you as you present yourself here. And let me say, if that is true, I am so glad to have attracted all of you guys, all of you wonderful people. It's been so fun to just read your comments, and that's not just through the pregnancy announcement video, but all through Vlogmas. I see a lot of new people commenting, saying that they've been here for months, or they've been here, they're brand new, they're just now arriving here. I've had a lot of growth here in the channel in the last couple of months, and it's really cool to see new names popping up, new people popping up. And if those are your comments, thank you so much. It's great to have you guys here, and just a little bit of a saying thank you guys for all of your nice comments, your well wishes. What's new crew? If you're new, my name is Cassandra. Welcome to my channel. Today we are making a handful of just grab and go cookie mixes. I have visions of giving these away as Christmas gifts to family and neighbors, but also just to see if having them on my pantry shelf is a convenience item that I like. We do a lot of baking here and from scratch things, and during the winter time a lot of that is cookies and muffins. I'm not doing any muffins today, even though I think that would be a really good idea or an additive. Today I'm just doing cookies. I washed up 11 small-mouthed mason jars. I chose small-mouthed mason jars because I do not like small-mouthed mason jars very much at all. I bought them back in 2020 when canning jars were just really hard to find and you had to take what you could get. So that's what these are kind of for. So that way, if they don't find their way back to me, I'm not heartbroken over it. And I'll be sad if my largemouth jars don't come back, but these small mouths, if they don't come back, I won't be heartbroken about it. I'd love to get to the stage where all of my mason jars are largemouth jars, and these small mouth ones I don't use for canning at all, maybe just for storing herbs like I have on the back of my stove here, or doing projects like this. But I really like canning in my large-mouthed jars. So I don't have an exact plan, and that's probably not going to surprise you if you're not new here, but I think what I want to do is just a basic chocolate chip and then our favorite Cowboy cookie recipe as well. So I think I pulled out all the ingredients I'm gonna need. I think I have everything out around me. We should be good to go. I did order a roll of these little tags for the top of our mason jars, just because these are gonna be gifts. I would like them to be pretty cute, and I'm only putting my dry ingredients in here rather. So I would like to be able to write what wet ingredients need to be added to these dry mixes, and obviously what to bake them at, what type of cookie they are. This is really cheap on Amazon. I think it was, I shouldn't say really cheap, I think it was $9 for this roll, but I'm pretty sure there's 1,000 stickers on here, which is crazy. So maybe it's not that bad of a price, but really great. I just tried to pick one that was pretty basic. I didn't want it to be super Christmassy, so that I could also use them as birthday gifts, or you know what I mean, housewarming gifts, whatever it is. So today we're just gonna kind of do a little bit of testing, see how we like these, but also prep for Christmas gifts. So because I have 11 here, I think maybe I'll do 4 chocolate chip, 4 Cowboy cookies, and then maybe I can do 3 of a different type of cookie. I'm just thinking out loud here. That way I can get a little bit of variety on my pantry shelf, but also have a variety to give away. I'm sure I can find another cookie recipe really quick that I have in my repertoire here, and be able to add that into these jars. So for now, that's gonna be my plan. So let's go ahead and get started. Of course, I had to brew an afternoon cup of coffee. Okay, I am using just the chocolate chip cookie recipe that comes on the back of the chocolate chips that I get from Aldi. This is the recipe I use all the time. I used to use the Nestle Toll House recipe, but I kind of like slowly but surely switched to this, and I like this just as much. So this is what we're using for convenience wise. And also, if you're like me, because most of the time I will cut my chocolate chip bags open and store them in mason jars in my pantry, I just cut this out and I actually taped this recipe to the inside of my cabinet. That way I can just open my cabinet and I have the recipe for me, because even though I make this recipe all the time, I still don't have it memorized. So there's that. I did bring up my funnels from downstairs, so we should be able to do 2 jars at a time, which should make this go rather quickly, but we will see about that. Anyone else ever get to the end of the year and feel like all of your measuring cups just disappeared throughout the year? I feel like I buy them brand new at the beginning of every year, and found one in my flour bucket. Okay, so we are going to start here with 2 cups of flour and do the other jar right away. I think it'll work better for me to go jar to jar that way, and to only do 2 at a time. Otherwise I think I'll get overwhelmed and I will probably forget something. 1 cup of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of white sugar. I think these jars are gonna look really, really, really pretty too. And this recipe only calls for baking soda at 1 teaspoon. Once again, I buy my baking soda in bulk and then just keep it in a mason jar in the pantry, because I mostly use it for cleaning, making homemade cleaning products and stuff, but obviously we bake with it too. And then we're just going to need some chocolate chips. I'm using minis, but you can use whatever you want. And how easy was that? Easy, perfect. Okay, so now I'm gonna push these to the side and I'm gonna do my other 2 exactly the same. And then I'm gonna put old lids and rings on these, and we will label all 4 of them at the same time as just a regular chocolate chip before we move on to a next recipe. That way I'm not getting things all jumbled. So I'll meet up with you guys in a second when we're ready to label these. If you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago we canned strawberry jam, and literally none of them sealed. They all siphoned on me. I was pretty sure it was the lids. I'm using those lids today because they're clean, they're brand new, but they're not good for canning in my opinion. I don't know what brand they are, so I can't even tell you guys, but I don't like them. So they'll work great for this. Okay, now I'm going to, now the hard part in my house, let me know if you guys are the same. I cannot find a pen to write on these stickers literally anywhere. I just texted my husband and asked him to pick some up for me. So I found this yellow Sharpie. I'm just gonna write 2 C's on top of these so I know that they're chocolate chip. The camera really isn't picking it up, but I promise it's there. I can see it. Okay, so now I'm gonna pull up my Cowboy cookie recipe really quickly. I have that on Pinterest. If you're ever in need of cookie ideas, I have an entire board on my Pinterest. You can follow me. I'm pretty sure I have a link in the description box. I have an entire board just of cookies because that's just how often we make cookies, but I found this Cowboy cookie recipe. I'm pretty sure it's the very like last pan. You have to scroll all the way to the bottom to find it, but it's these Cowboy cookies. They are so good. It's probably one of our most remade cookies. The kids really like it. My husband likes it. It's really good. We just don't put any nuts in it, but that's just a personal preference. I'm gonna start with my baking soda and my baking powder because those are always the things that I forget. So that's what I'm gonna do first. We are going to do 3/4 a teaspoon of baking powder, which is what I have in my hand. I also am notorious for half reading a recipe and accidentally getting my baking powder and baking soda quantities mixed up. I do it all the time, so I'm really just trying to make sure I'm getting this right because these are gifts and I want them to be good. We have to do 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Lovely. Okay, now we're gonna go in with our flour, and we need 1 3/4 cup of flour in the inch of salt in both of these. Okay, so we are going to add in 1 1/2 cups of, the recipe calls for old-fashioned oats. I always use quick oats. There are going to be some people that are asking, why don't you buy your oats in bulk? And quite honestly, I just don't know if I would go through them fast enough before things started to go bad on me. I've never really done the math on how much oats we go through, but I mean, we pretty much only use them for baking. So, I mean, I feel like because it's December, I'll go through 2 of these, but other than that, I probably go through 1 every couple of months. So I just don't know if it's quite worth it. Okay, we are going to add in about 1 cup of shredded coconut. And the thing is, even this particular recipe, even the blogger on this recipe, I'm getting it from ihearteating.com. She says right in the beginning when you first open this up, like, make this how you want it. Like, substitute some things for M&Ms instead of chocolate chips, or do white chocolate chips, add in raisins, add in craisins, add in cranberries, like whatever you want, you can put in this cookie base, and it's really good. We've done that in the past. We've added pretzels in these. We've added M&Ms, butterscotch, white chocolate chips, mini chocolate chips, dark chocolate. It's all really good. So mix it up and add what you like. If you like the pecans, add your pecans in here. You could add in some maybe caramel chocolate chips and do it almost like a turtled brownie cookie. I think that would be really good. So mix it up. But we are going to add in probably another bag of mini chocolate chips, so I have to go grab another bag, but then these are good and completely ready to go. So we're just going to add our chocolate chips, and then we're going to do this all over again. Make the last 2 jars, and then maybe because I have my oats up here, maybe we'll quick rock out a couple like oatmeal chocolate chips or maybe some oatmeal raisin cookies or something, and see kind of where this takes us. If these go over really well, which I'm already really liking these, one, they look pretty, but also just I think the convenience of having some of these on my shelf personally would be really nice. I think muffins would be really nice to do as well, especially I'm thinking ahead to this summer when the baby's born. We don't do a whole lot of baking in the summer because we're eating a lot of fresh out of the garden, and we just don't do a whole lot of baking, but we do still definitely do muffins for like breakfast and snacks and things. So I think it would be really convenient to have some of these made up as like pre-made muffin mixes for specifically my older girls, and with me kind of sitting in here with the baby, they can definitely rock out some muffins. So I think that'll be maybe something I need to kind of think ahead on as we kind of come into that closer and closer as summer kind of comes up on us. That might be a early spring project to do maybe. So let me go get my chocolate chips and let's see what we end up coming with for our last couple of jars here. I lied, I'm not gonna do mini chocolate chips. We're gonna add in these big full ones. And I'm gonna add them as many as I can fit in these jars. Once again, I'm gonna use my clean, brand new, but crummy for canning lids. I'm just checking these rings because some of my rings need to just be recycled, gone through. They're no good anymore, so I'm just gonna write Cowboy on the top of these and add them to our pile. But look at how pretty these are. So beautiful and so fun. I think they're gorgeous. If you really wanted to, you could add a little bit of ribbon or twine around them to make them a little bit more festive, but they're really, really cute. So we're gonna do the same thing here. I am going to repeat the process on these next 2 jars, and I'll catch up with you guys in a second. I think for our last 3, I remember saving just a couple days ago on my Pinterest board a butterscotch chocolate chip cookie recipe, however you would want to say that, a butterscotch chip recipe. I just saved it and I bought some butterscotch chocolate chips. I've never made the recipe before, so I don't know if it's going to be any good, so maybe that's one we'll just like keep for ourselves maybe. But I wanted to make that for Christmas anyways, to put it on our Christmas cookie platter. So this could be maybe considered a little bit of prepping for Christmas, but we'll see. I might change my mind between now and when I actually fill those jars. So I will catch up with you guys in a second. Okay, we ran into an issue. I did not realize, I'm looking at these jars and I'm like, did I add any sugar to those Cowboy cookies? No, I didn't. I scrolled too far down on the recipe and forgot the brown sugar in these. Well, these are full, so these don't fit. This recipe does not fit in here, but I already made them. I have these here, which I remember to add the brown sugar to, and there's no room in the rest of these jars for things like our coconut. Like, I could probably add my coconut in here. But there's definitely no room for chocolate chips, which a little bit of a bummer. So what I think I'm going to do is I will give maybe these 2 away as Christmas gifts because they actually have the stuffs in them. I don't know if maybe, I'm gonna say, can I push this down a little bit? Because if I can push these down, I can fit some chocolate chips in here and I think it'll be fine. Okay, I am gonna go get those bags of minis because they're just gonna fit better in here. Mini chocolate chips to the rescue. Perfect. That's better. Okay. I'm glad I realized that. It will be for gifts. Easy fix. I'm gonna try to see if I can do the same thing with those 2 that we already made and just add my brown sugar in. But it might be a different story because we put regular sized chocolate chips in here. Oh, okay. Okay, I think we're gonna be okay. I fit 1.5 cups of brown sugar in each of these, maybe. That is just going to have to be good enough. So I will keep these for myself because I was able to fit about 1 cup of brown sugar in these. Not the end of the world for myself personally, but I definitely don't want to get those as gifts. So I'm gonna put an X on these as well so that I know to keep these ones for myself. But either way, they came out looking really good. I'm glad I noticed it and was able to fix it. And now I know I can compact these a little bit if I need to. And I'm not super worried about it. Okay, so I'm gonna scroll my cookie board a little bit here and just try to find one that I know I have all the ingredients for. I think I am just gonna do this butterscotch one. Well, let's look at the recipe first because I don't even think I looked at the recipe when we are gonna do this. I have everything I need for it. So we're just gonna make a little bit of an assembly line here. The recipe calls for 1 2/3 cup flour or 210 grams. So you can weigh this out if you want to. I'm just gonna work my way across, I think. Okay, so this recipe is calling for just baking soda, and it wants one teaspoon. Perfect. Pinch of salt here. Oop, that was a little more than a pinch. That's all right. These are a salted butterscotch, so they are meant to be a little bit extra salty, you know what I mean? So I think that'll be okay. We need 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. I did make my brown sugar fresh yesterday. I've been running quite low for a while, so I needed to get that taken care of. Okay, what else we got here? I don't know why I took those out when you have 1/2 cup of, or 1/4 cup of regular sugar. Okay, I double check this. Flour, baking soda, salt, light brown sugar, sugar. And guess what, you guys? All we need to do to add into these are our butterscotch chocolate chips, which I think I put downstairs in my food storage, so I'm gonna go get those quick. But other than that, these are done. You might even be able to make these in pints, which would be pretty cool too. So let me go get those butterscotch chips and we'll finish these off. I found my butterscotch. They were up in my pantry the whole time. Oh, these butterscotch ones smell so good. Add a little more to this one. It looks a little light. But there we go. But once again, look how just really pretty these are. Very cute. Okay. I've got a lot going on my counter right now. I keep forgetting where I'm putting things, but this was a very quick and easy project. I'm very happy that I got it done. It took no time at all, and I can very much so see myself keeping some of these on my pantry shelf just kind of year round to be able to make as really quick convenience items for me. Especially when we are in the height of a busy season. I think we all have seasons like that where we're a little bit busier than we are other times of the year, and this is very much be classified as one of those times for a lot of people coming up on the holidays. It would be really nice to be able to just reach for one of these, especially when you want to put yourself in that like homesteading category or like a from scratch category. This could be a really nice way to just take like half an hour out of one of your days off or a weekend day or something and just rock out a couple of these. Mason jars are more expensive than they used to be, unfortunately. I think in my area they're like, depending on the size jar you want, they're like $13 for 12 jars, which is always hard, but well worth it in my opinion to buy maybe 2 boxes, or just kind of like as you can buy a box every once in a while, and just go ahead and prep these, have them up on your counter or in your storage or in your pantry. Like I said, now that I've made these, I definitely want to do muffins. Our 2 go-to muffins are an applesauce muffin that we make with some of our homemade canned or home canned applesauce. Really, really delicious. I've also used pear sauce in that, also really good. I've also used our cranberry applesauce in that recipe, also super delicious. And the other one is just like a banana muffin, very, very good. I think both of those are linked in my Pinterest board as well, probably under my baking category, but both are really great. We make those all the time here on my channel. They're really, really good. I would definitely prep some of these just dry ingredients to have, especially on like a busy school morning. You still want to make your kids a hot breakfast. You can just dump these in your KitchenAid or in a bowl and whisk them up with some eggs and butter, whatever your dry ingredients are, or whatever your wet ingredients are, and pop it in the oven and they'll be really good to go. So I'm really liking these. I feel really good about it. Not like a super labor intensive project today, or a project that took a whole lot of time, but really good. Something I easily was able to get done in Cleo's nap time, and I'll definitely be able to clean up, reset my kitchen before all of my big kids get off the bus from school and it's time for me to start making dinner, which are my favorite projects. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, getting 11 jars of cookie mix up on the pantry shelf. But after Christmas I'll obviously give some of these away and we'll have less than 11, but very excited about these. I can't tell you, these are just really nice. They look really beautiful in the jars as well, and I'm really excited to give these away as gifts. So I hope wherever you guys are, you're having a fantastic day. I hope we're having a great Christmas season, and I will catch you guys